All right, guys, it's Jahlon, and today I want to put your eyes back on Fractured Online. Fractured Online is an isometric MMORPG in development by Dynamite Studios. They're aiming to have a really dynamic world with a lot of player interaction, a lot of player choice, and a lot of player-driven decisions. Now, I'm not here to tell you all about Fractured. In this video, over there in the corner in the playlist, there's going to be a bunch of other Fractured videos. If you want to ask me about a question about Fractured, just leave a comment and I'll answer all your questions. The reason I'm doing this video today is I want to talk about isometric games first, and just how big of an explosion they've made. If you look at Lost Ark's numbers, Lost Ark has absolutely exploded on the scene. A really big spike of concurrent players, peak players last month when it launched, but they're really doing a good job of holding on to a high player count. Now, I do want to point out that this number is just raw data. We don't know if this is a good player acquisition funnel and they're just getting new players to try it because it's a free to play, or if they're having good player retention. We also have to mention that Elden Ring has come out, so Elden Ring has just pulled players away from everything and obviously will have pulled some players out of Lost Ark. Another isometric game that's been doing really well is Path of Exile. Now, this is Path of Exile Steam chart. You'll see that big spike and then gradual taper down. But Path of Exile also has its own launcher, so not all the players go through Steam. So now, what does that mean for isometric games? Isometric games have always been pretty niche, but a few years ago we heard about Project TL, and Project TL said it was going to come out as an isometric game. So now we have Project TL, we have Lost Ark, and potentially Diablo 4 being an isometric as well, and then everybody's favorite, Fractured Online. Now, before we move on, I always like to share the bad news or the things that people are going to say, I won't play that game because. I did a video a couple of weeks ago. Gamigo Games will be the publisher for Fractured Online. Now, I know a lot of people are going to think Dynamite Studios made a deal with the devil because they agreed to let Gamigo publish their game. Gamigo sometimes is regarded as the worst publisher out there. I would invite you to look at the video in the upper right-hand corner about Cacao Games and what they did with their ArcAge players, straight stealing credits from their players. So check that out if you missed it, but it basically means Gamigo's no longer the absolute worst. Cacao now holds that title. With that said, I do want to give credit where credit is due. The Gamigo team has been doing a really good job continuing what Prometheus used to do with these blogs and these spotlights. Thing I love about Fractured, and I do have a video on the town and the tech where I cover some of this, is that players will be governors of the towns. And it's not just a matter of you get a town and do whatever you want with it, or it doesn't matter. There's a lot of games where it's like being a mayor or being a governor is very minor. These towns are going to be very, very player driven. The big thing is the tech tool, and the tech tool is going to be the decisions you make. When do you have buildings? When do you have accessibility to certain buildings or certain technology? Now, like most games that are player driven or player decision driven, you will not be able to have absolutely everything in your town. There will be things that you'll have to sacrifice because even a stage 15 town won't have quite enough points for everything. So this is one really great thing I love about Fractured. Another thing is the residential areas. I have found that games that allow players to have some sort of player housing really gives the players an incentive to remain part of the game. If you look at the big thing going on right now in Final Fantasy XIV, individuals and free companies still can't get housing. If you talk to some of those groups, that's actually a reason why they stopped playing the game. Player housing is such an interesting feature for games to have because it really helps your immersion, because it gives you that tangible place that's yours in the game. So if you didn't check out the blog on the towns and the tech and the residential areas, I'll have a link to that in the description. The other thing that Fractured is doing that's absolutely amazing is listening to its players, but not making knee-jerk reactions, but listening to the players and trying to come up with good solutions. They're not just taking player solutions. In early alpha testing, we found out that really Fractured had become a gank box. And so Prometheus and the team went back and they looked at all the problems in competitive gameplay. Now, there's a lot of games that have made a decision to take the competitive gameplay out of the game, and then you're kind of wondering, what am I playing? For this, I am looking directly at New World. New World started off as an open world, full PvP, full loot drop game. As it evolved, it became this sort of PvE monstrosity, and now you can actually disable open world PvP. So Fractured didn't want to go that route. So Fractured decided to go with a more D&D alignment and rules for who you can kill. So if you are interested in Fractured, I definitely recommend you check out the alignments. Good can only attack evil, neutral can only attack evil and other neutral, and then evil can obviously attack everybody and be attacked by everybody. They have a karma system that's going to take you from negative 10,000 points being diabolic to positive 10,000 points being holy. So this is actually a really great feature of the game. This right here where it says demons are straight up evil, one of my future plans for Fractured is I want to go from being a demon to an angel. So I'm going to start as a demon and work really, really hard to getting positive 10,000 karma. So they do have specific rules for flagging, but you know, that's not all. There is going to be 3 planets, and your karma alignment is going to dictate which planets you can go to. Now, I know some of you are going to say, why would I ever leave the planet that has open world PvP? Why would I struggle to be able to go to these other planets? If you're not familiar with the skill system, which is up there in the corner, you have to kill monsters in order to get their skills. And obviously the 3 planets are going to have different monster collections. So it's going to really determine how you develop your character. With all of that said, guys, I am really, really, really stoked, right? I am really, really stoked for the future of Fractured. I am really happy to see isometric downward looking games are breaking out of the niche that they're in and starting to become more mainstream. Now, again, are they mainstream because people are starting to like isometric, or are they mainstream because there's nothing else to play? That's what I want you to go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know if you play Lost Ark and why you play it. Did you play it because you like it, or play it because it's free? Are you looking forward to Project TL? Are you looking forward to it because you're an old Lineage fan, or are you looking forward to it because it's just something new to play? These are the things we need to let developers know so they know what to build for the genre players. Until next time, guys, you have a good time, you stay safe, and check out PGN Music for all your DMCA non-copyright sound music needs.